We say, we know the idea of it takes a village to raise a child. That is an African proverb. But we must understand that the village that the African proverbs relate to is not the village like we're in a Jamaica now, where you have people claustrophobic. Each hamper one another, one tenement yard of how much people in the yard. You put up your clothes on the line and everybody has to wear dirty from when or dirty. If you did wash good and never wash good. Or what kind of stain the pan it and all them something. This is where we live in now. So we have to go to the next thing now, which is the school. The school is where the picnic socialize, are supposed to socialize more. Because them spend more time there, so in them waking period. So the people who is experts in these things, I am suggesting that on a really just listen to what I say. Just listen to what I say. Attack the school in relationship to how you're going to now reverse this madness. Where everybody has said it is the parents' duty. We know it's the parents' duty. But given the circumstances that is surrounding Jamaica right now, given the lack of jobs and the youngness of the mothers and the fathers them. Because I remember I said nobody go to school to learn how to be a parent. So that is an innate thing that comes from human beings. But something outside of that human being mindset that is extending itself that the parents them cannot achieve. Parenthood as how parenthood should be. So we have to turn to something else. And we can't turn to the neighbor and the man across the street. Because it's not like the village in Africa. The school is the village. That is my argument. The school is the village. This is where the development of the child must come. Educational and socialization and also psychological, we call it, you come to the point where the student in the school must be able to communicate with other students and with the teacher. So you're supposed to develop the student that the student can go to the teacher and say, teacher, you know, say, me really, I'm at that time of the month, I want to know if you know, I just say, yes, we come, we can show you. We have some things in the schools, pardon all and something can help you, know. That is what I talk about. The student must not be afraid to talk to this teacher. If the student have a man problem, him suppose he can't cheat and him suppose he can go to the teacher and talk about the man problem because it's not happening in the yard because the mother have a man problem too. That may I say.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.
Alright, so we go down our school the other day, as you know, Kingston Technical High School, and we want to just Stone, we want him up because he is the one who initiate this move. Give the three students them an award for helping the girl who was stabbed. Them never drag out them cell phone and take picture and all them with them. Actually rush to her, help her, resuscitate her, and all these things, and help her for going out, wherever them put her in her. So we go down there, we are talking to the student them, and one of the things that we are talking about is that the idea of it takes a village to raise a child. We have to figure out where the village there. Because the way Jamaica set up now, if you call the village the neighborhood where the children them live, and most of them live in some area where is infested with criminal activities and some uncouth people, that the village can't raise up nobody. So we have to look back on the village again. And one of the places I suggested was the school. The school is the village right now because the majority of the student time is in the school, not with the parents. Because when them left the yard, them not come home back till the evening, and that is that. And when them got to come in the yard, them gone to bed. So I am putting it that the school is the new village. And this is where now the parents them who it's same thing like the picnic them nowadays because some young people millennials that have 16-year-old people, young, we have fire gun and all them things, they're up on the road, and them we are there. We are saying, there's something that must be done. Get some psychologists and some people who into, child reforming the children, them in their mind and them thinking. For going to the school, them continuously. And the teachers must be part of that. And because we know that the teacher them pay small and we don't want to burn the teacher them, but for the children them sake and for the society and the community sake where we live in now, the teachers should be a part of that village, which is now, I claim now, say, is the school, is the village. Because you can't carry them people in a certain area where them live. And I tell them about village must take care of picnic. That is somewhere, was in Africa, and in Africa, you never have no wire fence. Everybody live in a real village. And everybody know everybody, and no shooting and going and murderous things that are going on in them village there. So the parents could have taken care of the experience. And then long time ago, we used to live in some community where the neighbor know the picnic and the neighbor know the mother, and the neighbor can't scold the picnic. When the picnic do something, you can't scold them picnic and now, and you come from over next door. You hear some clout all going on your ears, and if you don't mind sharp, them start to stone you.
I heard you on TV saying just what you said there.
Yeah.
That with this concept that the school is the new village, and I agree with it totally. It is something that I have been trying to get our leadership in Jamaica to accept. But of course, my preachings have fallen on deaf ears through the years. But I agree with you completely, because my feeling is that the two critical socializing agents of the society are the family and the school.
Yes.
And our families, as you mentioned there, are stressed, severely deficient these days. So the children are in dysfunctional families, should we say. So they're not getting what you should get from the family. They're not getting the type of values and attitudes and life skills that you would want to get from the family, most of the children. And so the next best thing is our schools, which, as you say, the children are there for so much of their waking hours. And I believe, like you have intimated, that we need to invest much more in our schools, because that is the place while we work to improve the family, that is a very long-term process. And while at the school, we can look at that the government has full control of the schools, and we can look at making an impression in a much more shorter to medium term. So I agree with you fully. I don't think that we understand, and I think I love Muta if you from here on in talk a lot about it, because I don't think we understand that our schools are like, or should be like, surrogate parents. In other words, stand in for the parents. And if we don't understand that it is in fact education and socialization which is going to get us out of the quagmire that we are in now, then we're going to have a serious problem. So, like you, I agree fully that we need to focus much more on our schools to make this seismic change that we need in our society. And let me just say, one of the symbols that tell us very clearly, very symbolic of the road we're going down, which is the wrong road, is how we treat with sports in our schools. Sports and other extracurricular activities, but especially sports. Now, I heard on an earlier program at the IRI, an interview involving Randy Mack, the dub poet. And he said that, he never really focused on dub poetry until he was exposed to the performing arts at Excelsior. And that is what really made him realize that he had that talent. And that is what extracurricular activities at school should be about. That's one of the facets of it. So it is helping us, or it should be helping us, whomever qualifies to be at that school legitimately. It should be helping them to know themselves more, to develop, to understand themselves and their boundaries more. But we have converted extracurricular activities, and especially sports, into a win at all cost sort of venture. So that we are bringing in the big money so that we can win.
Mogi, you can hear me?
Yes.
All right, I just want to say something, right? All right. As a long-time sportsman, right? I wouldn't know that sports still in our school, but sport is used just say, game and football, and we don't really see that do nothing else more than that. More than you just play football and you're glad say you win the Walker Cup, you win the Manning Cup, and you feel good. As a long-time sportsman, them can use in this village where we are talking about, this Taker village now, which is we are talking about now. We move the village from the community now in the area where them live to the school where them live. In this new village where we are talking about, which is the school, and as a sportsman, how you think them can use sport for more than just winning Manning Cup, winning that, but to develop the mind and also the attitude, which is very important, the attitude of the youth them. What do you think? How you think that could have worked?
Well, sports is, extremely powerful, or can be, in that area of socializing our students so that they learn values, attitudes, and behaviors. Now, sports is a microcosm of life. It's like a small life setting, right? So you have many teachable moments. It's like a practical, of life, but in a confined time space. So many of the life lessons you can teach the youngsters through sports. You can, sports has different aspects. You have the behavioral aspect, you have the emotional aspect, you have the social aspect, and you have the technical aspect. What we have been doing in our schools is focusing only or primarily on the technical aspect. And we need to bring up the other aspects of sports in school. And, for example, school can teach you things like life skills and non-cognitive skills that you don't measure by IQ, right? It can teach you, for example, discipline. We always talk about discipline and indiscipline in the place we see. Sports can teach you to be disciplined, self-discipline, self-regulation, right? And we call it delaying gratification, right? You put off until another time something that impulsively you would do right now. It can teach you how to communicate. It can teach you give and take, how you get along with people. But for example, in my years, when I was a much younger man, people have come to me, and I coached youngsters at the time. People have come to me from the groups I've coached when they were much older. They were young men themselves, and having worked for a while. And some of them have said to me, "Doc, you saved my life." I said, "For example, save your life? What do you mean?" Well, I won't go through the type of life those guys had, but very, very stressful. They come from what we call the ghetto in Jamaica. And they said, one said to me, "Look here, all the people I grew up with," and he grew up bringing up a younger brother. And he said, "All the people I grew up with, Doc, are dead, either killed by gunmen or police, including my little brother." And he said to me, "Doc, the only reason I am here is every time they brought the gun to me and said, 'Come, we're going to shake down our business,' I couldn't take it up because I heard your voice in my head saying, 'Delay gratification, don't do it.'" And he says that's what saved him. Although the people, when they shake down the place, they bring back some of the spoils and give to him and so on. You know, so it can change people's lives tremendously. Because youngsters, for example, love sports. I mean, sports, I am an example of that. Very passionate about sports. I was very passionate about all sports, but particularly football. And so youngsters will make the effort to change where they would find it much more difficult to do it elsewhere. So that's what I mean. And there are a number of things. Sports can teach you about, you know, the academic behaviors. And one of the things we should be using it to do is to help youngsters understand that, look here, you have a lot of skills that you have learned through sports. And you can transfer these skills to other areas of your life, including the academics, including the workplace. You know, a number of people that I work with, so some youngsters, are, you know, in their 50s now, and so on. And, you know, they tell me initially, when they started to work, they would write down some of the things that I would say to them, and they would put it on a tape, and they would play the tape before they go to work. And if they get distressed and down, depressed, they would play the tape. So what I'm saying is, that's why I agree with you. And these youngsters came out of very stressful areas, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So it can be used to do a lot of things. And the other thing is this, that, you know, it's a two-way thing. When they go back to their homes, true, that is influencing them, that environment. But they are influencing it too, right? So if there is the proper use of sports, it can be very powerful. And
all right, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something now. All right, you talk about saying certain to the student them. Oh, you factor in you talk about bringing people, which I suggest that to bring in psychologists, bring in man who can facilitate a conversation with the youth them, and also the teacher them. How you reach the youth them, like on a weekly basis with a situation like that. You have to train the teacher them. You have to bring in extra people for
the teachers are critical. I mean, they are the core. So you have to. One of the things that and you know, Muta, we have templates of it all over the world. People talk about Singapore and Finland and you know, the Asian countries and so on. So there are templates out there. One of the things is that we need to, first of all, understand what you are saying in terms of using this ecosystem, this environment called the school, to make the paradigm shifts that are needed in our socializing of our youngsters. And hence, that is one of the reasons, Buta, that I'm against severely recruiting people for sports by our schools.
If you go to a next school.
Eh? Yes,
you recruit in one school.
You're a big baller, or you're a big cricketer.
Yeah.
Right? Or you're a big runner. It shouldn't be done. If it is that we're using sports to help to socialize our citizens, our adult citizens to be, all of them, whether they are big baller or they are nerd or they have two left feet or what, they are going to be our citizens.
So what do you think is the adverse effect?
The trigger of a gun.
What do you think would be the adverse effect if them keep doing that? What is it that you have against the shifting of students from one school to the next because of them football skill and them ability for athletic skill? What is it that you're saying?
Well, there are so many things against it, Muta. We don't have the time. But
no, but just
one of the things that that it does, for example, let's look at the leadership end. So many of our schools, and this includes our traditional schools, especially our traditional boys' schools, just about all of them, bring in people for sports from other schools, okay? Now, one of the things that does, in all my years of saying that, you know, this shouldn't happen, I have not found yet one chairman of the board of any of the schools, one principal of any of the schools to say, yes, we recruit. We bring in people based on their sports ability. I haven't found one. In other words, it it generates defeat. All of them keep saying, we don't do it. We don't do it. Although they are at the top of the line.
Yeah, but may I ask you, what is it that it does to the student community? And when I say, what is the negativity that come up in doing this? As it relates to the student and
before I go to that, I just want to stick on this one to say this. That what that does, the deceit that it brings about there at the leadership level, what it is telling our children is, look here, you cannot trust these leaders. Because the children know that the school bring in people for sports. All right? The teachers know. The fans know. But here is the leadership saying they don't do it. So you learn right away you can't trust the leadership. You can't trust the institution. So we get what we call the trust deficit.
So if them tell them you have it okay with it. If them make it plain say that them do, you have it okay with it. That's what I say.
Yes, but no, I wouldn't be okay with it. But
yes, so that may ask you know, apart from them being
okay, let's go through one other thing. First of all, our schools are such that we should be delivering quality education to all our children. All right? Any school they attend, they should be getting quality education. But the fact is that that is not the case. And in fact, relatively few schools offer this quality education. And we say to our youngsters coming out of the ghetto, you know, we say, look here, do your schoolwork, right? Do well at schoolwork, and we will you'll be able to go to a school which is considered to deliver quality education, because the demand by far outstrips the supply of these schools. Okay? So these children who come from the depths of the ghetto and who have sacrificed heroically, really, in their struggle against tremendous odds. Some of them, you know, studying under street lights. They live in horrible conditions. But they struggle. They dodge the bullets. They keep out of the gangs and what have you. They make the sacrifice to legitimately get into a school offering better quality education and facilities. However, they find themselves locked out of the opportunities and benefits that are their right and which they have earned. Right? Why? Because of this win-at-all-cost approach to sports in school and the recruiting of sports talent. So you have a guy in the school who is a big baller. He'll tell you 1-on-1 makes 3. But he's in the school. And this, because the schools have limited space, school can't take everybody. They don't get to go in. I think that's very unfair. Or, if they get to go in, they can't represent their school as they would like. They can't get that experience which they have earned. But their neighbor, who was kicking ball and running all over the place while they were busting their asses at home, studying, he's in the school. The other thing with it is this. It's very inefficient. Now, our government should be working towards making all of our schools deliver quality education. That is what should be their aim. All right? But it is not so. And hence, the society develops this thing where those who are better prepared at the time, for whatever reason, to deal with this quality education, to deal with this physics, to deal with the chemistry, to deal with the biology most efficiently, and use it as we would want it to be used so that it can come back and help the society. This is how those get into the better quality schools. And I'm saying...
No, wait hold on there. All right. So you're talking about the sports people them who go into better quality schools because them can run and thing. What
as opposed to the others.
What to the
who don't get in.
Yeah, but so why you see to them don't hold on. Why you see to them don't get into the school? Because they must recruit sports people, or because they never pass them exam or pass the exam.
No man, they would pass the exam, but in other words.
So why them don't get into the school?
For example, the school, you see? Any school can accommodate just a given number of people.
Yeah, so why them don't get into the school? The youth them who pass them exam, why them don't get into the school?
All right, that's what I'm saying. The school can accommodate just a sort. Let us say the school can accommodate 10 people.
Yeah.
All right? Now, 3 of those people you bring in because they are good ballers. But the school can just accommodate 10. So it means that...
Okay, all right. That's the way I say.
Right.
That's the way I say.
So
10 people, 3 go, but because them can't do ball, but the one really have education and really have move, but because them don't play football, them don't get in at the school.
Right. And also, Mota, if it is that we are using extracurricular activities, they should be used in school to help to socialize our children.
Yeah.
What you would find is that just like I get the impression it happened with Randy Mack. He didn't know. A lot of the students at school don't know what they can do and what they can't do,
Yeah.
They haven't been exposed to this, that, or the other thing. So it is for the school now exposing them to these things. For example, I never played any representative football until I went to George's. I played coach. And that is how people knew that, watch it, this boy have some talent. So that's what I'm saying. We're not unearthing talent. We're not. In other words, you can find out from there are so many people I know in my time who, for example, didn't run. But George's at that time, although other people were importing big this and big that, they were completely against it. In fact, they were exporting big baller, although we worship football. But they found a lot of people, youngsters, who them go all the way to sixth form, and don't do anything, and boy, this year, boy, concert, and they finally come out, find them, them come out, and the man would go champs and win.
Yeah. All right, we have to wrap up now, though. We have to wrap up. So, the last comment now. Tell me what concluding what we are dealing with now.
Eh?
No, I said we have to wrap up now. So I'm just saying that we want you to say a conclusion. We want to bring it to a conclusion.
Okay.
We have to wrap up. So.
What I would say, Mota, is that I support what you have put forward there completely. And I would like to see a change in how we approach sports in our schools and other extracurricular activities, so that the focus is on not winning at all costs.
Yes.
The focus is on the outcome being better citizens.
Yes, All right, sir. Give thanks.
My brother. And thank you.
Give thanks. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, that was coming from a man who has been there and done that. Yes, coming from a man who has been there and done that. Trust me, man. Brazil, George's, chemists, him do it. Football, man. All sorts of things. And him there for share where matter about it. And I am, the part about bringing in students who, because them have sports qualification, them can run fast or jump fast, over another youth. And I totally understand what I say. 5 youth, 5 space. 5 youth, 5 space. I know you come and you pick some youth who good in a football and cricket, and you say, all right, you will give them the preference over the 5 youth who, since them know it's not footballer, but them really, them education up there. That's unfair, and it shows that the system kind of twists.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.